So, hello, good afternoon. Welcome. Good to see you. So, as usual, tell us where you're watching us from. You know, we like to know where you're watching us from all the time. So, just go ahead and tell us where you're watching us from. I know some of you, you've just had lunch, others, you're just about to go and have lunch. As for me, lunch has delayed a bit. So, I thought, okay, you know what? As I wait for lunch, we may as well squeeze in this conversation and just have a quick chat. I know we're coming back live later again at 18 hours to talk about the breast cancer issue. And don't miss this evening's chat on breast cancer because we are bringing a very, very interesting expert in the subject. But for now, I want us to interact on this issue of vaccines, particularly the vaccination regarding COVID-19 vaccination. I know that there are some of you who are watching this who have already been vaccinated. I know there are some of you who are watching this who have not been vaccinated. I also know there are some of you who are watching this who have no intention of getting vaccinated. And I know there are some of you who are on the fence. Why? Because of things that you're hearing, rumors that you're hearing, and unverified information that you may have, and certain apprehensions that you have. And I am here to belittle or to ignore or to treat your apprehensions as if they are not important. Your apprehensions are important. What I'm going to tell you today, or what I would like us to interact on today, is this issue of whether you should get vaccinated or not. And I think that's the issue a lot of people have been asking. The other issue people have been asking me is, Doc, there are so many vaccines, which one is the best? Okay. So I'm also going to touch on those issues. And I'm hoping that at the end of this conversation, my inbox won't be as busy as it has been in the last few days on the vaccine. I am also towards the end going to address the issue that I raised. There's a post I made, which produced a very emotional, sometimes spirited, the issue I raised of saying that, quite all right, I am against forcing people to get vaccinated. But at the same time, I also said in that post that voluntary vaccination has not produced the desired results in terms of the coverage. And I suggested that probably to get this going, we probably need to have to start demanding that access to certain places should be restricted to all people who are vaccinated. Now, others said that that's a backdoor of forcing people. You are infringing on people's rights. Now, I'll discuss that towards the end. Now, why should you get vaccinated? Why did the president and Ministry of Health and everybody else involved, why did they do what they are calling a relaunch of the vaccination? The reason they're doing this is this, and I'll be very blunt about it, is because we know that a fourth wave is imminent. We know that. Some experts have even argued, okay, that it should hit us by December, January, thereabout. So we know that a fourth wave is coming. Now, put that aside. We know that. That's what we know. Now, there's something else I also need you to realize. That if you remember, when COVID first came, we all didn't believe it. No, it's a disease in Asia. Hey, it's a disease in Europe. Hey, who has died? Have you ever seen anyone who has died? Okay. First wave came and went. Second wave came. A few people died. And people were still not believing. Hey, especially people would say, that's a disease for rich people. How come everyone who's dying is people who have traveled? Then came the third wave. The one we've just come out of now. A lot of you people who are watching this now, you either know someone, either a workmate, or your loved ones, or people that you know, your neighbors. All of us know someone personally who died of COVID in the last wave. We know. We know that. So COVID is no longer something that is at a distance. COVID-19 is something that is affecting us directly. In the last wave, which you've just come out of, we know someone who died of COVID. We do. For me, who is in the health space, I also know a number of healthcare workers who are my colleagues who died from COVID. Now, here's the issue. We also know by observation, particularly in Europe and America, where their coverage for vaccination is a lot wider than ours, they are lifting these restrictions almost completely. In some parts, they've even declared victory over COVID. You know why? Because nearly everyone who is eligible, they've managed to vaccinate. They're at above 50% vaccination. Some are above 70% vaccination. You know where we are in Zambia? We've been vaccinating people for the last 6 months. Do you know how far we've gone? We've only done 3%. Meaning that should the fourth wave hit us today, that 3% will mean nothing. It will mean nothing. Now, we have also observed in communities where vaccinations are widespread, more widespread than us, what we have observed is that in communities where people are vaccinated, hospitalizations are far reduced. Hospitalizations are reduced. The rate of transmission of the virus in the population also reduces. You know why? People who are vaccinated, yes, do get infected. Yes, they can still transmit the disease. But compared to people who are not vaccinated, the people who are not vaccinated transmit the virus a lot quicker and faster compared to those who are vaccinated. So you, if you're not vaccinated, you become a very efficient vector where you'll be transmitting the virus to your loved ones and other people around you a lot quicker than people are vaccinated. Okay? The other reason that we have observed in communities where everybody is vaccinated is that the number of deaths has reduced drastically due to COVID. So even ourselves, that is why we are pushing that everyone should get vaccinated. It is because should the fourth wave hit and we've exceeded 50%, 60%, even 70% of eligible people who are supposed to be vaccinated, you will also notice even yourselves that even if the fourth wave were to hit, we would have less hospitalizations. We would have less people who are suffering severe illness. We would even have less deaths compared to the last wave. Now, as long as, okay, the number of people who are vaccinated still remains small for us, by the time the fourth wave hits, you will notice that we will probably be in a much worse position than we were in the last wave. Now, here's the issue. Some of you may say, I'm a fearmonger. Hey, Doc, you're just scaring us, whatever. No. Somebody needs to tell us the truth. Somebody needs to say things the way they are. And here I am not fearmongering. I am telling you things the way they are. You saw the third wave. And here's another fact about this COVID, which has been observed in other communities as well, is that subsequent waves are usually worse than the last one. You can fact check that if you want. Go and fact check. Subsequent waves are usually worse than the last one, meaning that you can actually argue and anticipate that the fourth wave will probably be worse than the last one. Okay? Now, is vaccine the silver bullet? Is vaccine the be and end all of this problem? Not really. The issue is that vaccine is an addition to what we are already doing, the 5 golden rules and all that. But except that in terms of prevention of hospitalization, prevention of severe illness, prevention of deaths, meaning that the deaths are reduced drastically, that's where the vaccine now has a big advantage. That is where the vaccine has a big advantage. And basically what we are saying is that In Zambia, if all of us who are listening to this can go out and get vaccinated, and we push our vaccination rate from where it is now, because right now we're at 3%, that 3% will not help us. It will not change much. In fact, it will not even have an impact. All of us need to go out and get vaccinated. Now, vaccines have value when you evaluate them at population level. So, for example, I am vaccinated. I was probably one of the first people to get vaccinated. I got the AstraZeneca vaccination myself. Others are getting Johnson & Johnson. Others are getting the other vaccine that is out there. Go and get vaccinated. I am vaccinated. Several other people are vaccinated. Okay? It's important. Now, some of you have argued, Doc, there are side effects and things. Let me tell you something about the side effects. When I got vaccinated, did I suffer side effects? Yes, I did. What side effects did I suffer? I had a fever. I had, rigors, which are, my body was shaking like malaria. Okay? The place where I was injected 2 days later, I was in a bit of pain. I also had some kind of muscle ache, which others have also experienced. And my symptoms lasted about 5 to 6 days. After that, I was fine. Did I get clots? No, I didn't. I didn't experience the clots that people talk about. Others did experience a few clots here and there. But again, when I went for my second vaccination, I didn't experience anything. The only experience I had was just pain on a bit of pain on the site of the injection. Other than that, I've been okay. Did I turn into a magnet? No, I didn't turn into a magnet. There are a lot of people out there who are refusing to be vaccinated because they are saying you will turn into a magnet. I did not turn into a magnet. My family members who are vaccinated did not turn into a magnet. My colleagues who are vaccinated have not turned into magnets. And we are still here. Now, let's go to the controversial issue that I had talked about, that people are saying, no, Doc, we are advocating for people to be forced to be vaccinated. Now, here's the issue, ladies and gentlemen. The proposal that I made, that to get people to vaccinate, we probably need to be demanding proof of vaccination for you to access certain places. And others reacted quite sharply, and I can see others are still reacting very sharply to that. I know it's controversial, but hear me out. My issue here is that human rights are very important. We cannot infringe on them. And also, we cannot force people to get vaccinated. I understand that. But here we are faced with a very, very serious illness that can even kill the very people who are advocating that we are going to infringe on people's rights. And yet we know that if we can vaccinate everybody, a lot of people will be saved. We know that. And also, here's the other thing. We are running out of time. We have no time. And in this space of time that we have already, in 6 months, we've done 3%. My guess is that if we continue on this voluntary pace, we'll still do another 3% or 10% in 6 months. Now, within these same 6 months, we are anticipating a fourth wave to hit. It's like you know that there's a lion where this group of people is going. Okay? You have a group of people that are going in the direction of a lion, and you know that there's a lion there, but they don't. Okay? And you know that if you force them not to go there, you'll be infringing on their freedom of movement. But you know the lion is coming. While you're negotiating with them, the lion is not stopping. It will still keep coming. What do? How do you save them? You continue appealing to them? And what if they don't listen to you? It's the same thing with this COVID and vaccination issue. We know as healthcare workers that this thing is coming. And we know that when it comes, it will hit harder than the last time. Okay? And we have to use every means possible to get people to protect themselves. Because there is no enjoyment of human rights in the grave. You can argue all you want. That's precisely why I said, you know what? Yes, voluntary vaccination is fine. But what if we started to compel people to be vaccinated? What if we started saying you can't access that space unless you're vaccinated? And also, the reason is that, you see, you who is not vaccinated, it's very easy for you to transmit the disease around, especially to people who are vulnerable, the elderly around you, people with comorbid conditions around you. When you are refusing to get vaccinated, it is you who is putting those people's lives at risk, because you become an efficient transmitter. And that's precisely why I made that argument. That's precisely why. At the end of this conversation, look, it's still your choice. It's still your decision. It's still your life. But when that time comes, you know, it's much like people who read the Bible, like Noah, who was talking about, hey, you know, there's rain coming, let's start building this ark and whatever, and people were not listening. We've had this COVID issue before. We've seen the third wave, and we don't want to lose people. Personally, I don't want to lose people. I don't. And that is why. If I can get you vaccinated somehow without infringing on your rights, and the middle ground that I saw, for me, as controversial as it is to say, you can't enter a nightclub until you show proof of vaccination. You can't enter a bank until you show proof. Now, some people have made it so religious. No, this is the much talked about 666 in the Bible. Guys, come on. Let's not go there. We are dealing with a serious existential threat here. And when people say we are at war with COVID, we are at war and we need to save lives. I know the position that government has taken is one where government wants to, you know, appeal to you. Government has taken a position of voluntary vaccination. And I think that we need to push in that direction as well. But at the same time, I just need you to, if you forget everything I have said, I need you to get this, that it's imperative, if not urgent, that you get vaccinated. It's imperative, if not urgent, that you get vaccinated. You will thank me later. Save this video. You will thank me later. Okay. I don't want what I am saying, I don't want to be proved right. I don't. You know, there are certain arguments you make where you know you don't want to be proved right, because you know why? Because being right means people's deaths, means that people will suffer, means that people will die. So what I want is that for all of us to take this vaccination drive seriously. Let's go out there. Let's encourage people. Let's teach people. Those of you who have understood these things, take it upon yourselves to explain to others. And let's not make this about religion. We are trying to save lives here. This is serious business. I have lost my colleagues, some of them very close to me, doctors, have died. Very close friends have died. And I can't imagine the fourth wave. And it's on the horizon. And I know for a fact that if we get a huge number, 50, 60% of the eligible population vaccinated before the fourth wave comes, I know that will save a lot of lives. I know that. I know that. But I also know that we are running out against time. We have no time. You don't have the luxury of time. I don't have the luxury of time. So go out there and get vaccinated. Go and get vaccinated. Now do this. Share this video as widely as you can. Okay? Maybe, just maybe, those who are on the fence will be convinced to go and get vaccinated. Okay? Just maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll join you again at 18 hours as we discuss breast cancer. Let's end here for today. I thought I'd just share my thoughts on this. Do take care. We'll see you later.